Hey, you! I need you to hit the subscribe button below.
Chicho, turn that thing up.
All praises, welcome back. Welcome back. You are tuned in to the Natives Hour, home of the 10 tribes. That's right. I'm Captain Gaddy to my right. I'm CUVL to my left.
Soldier Gaddiel.
And we make up the Natives Hour. All right, let's get right into it, y'all. It is Hispanic Heritage Month. For some of y'all that don't know, it might have snuck up on you, but America doesn't forget. Right. America made sure they try to make the Hispanics of America feel welcome.
I hate it here.
Play that thing.
Important day on the national calendar. Hispanic Heritage Month kicks off today. This celebration has been expanding over the years, and ABC's Gio Benitez now with a look on the key contributions this community has made.
Today, September 15th, marks the start of Hispanic Heritage Month. Bienvenidos, or welcome to the month-long fiesta, recognizing how Hispanic and Latino communities have contributed to U.S. culture. From activists like labor organizer Cesar Chavez fighting in the 60s and 70s.
Pause it. So this is Cesar Chavez. Now, what they say about Cesar Chavez in the schools is that he helped regulate the what's it called? The labor union or whatever the hell it's called, migrant workers, something like that. But we're gonna find out something today about Cesar Chavez that a lot of y'all don't know about. We're gonna find out. But just let it play. Go let it play.
For better wages and conditions for farm workers, and government leaders like U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, in the U.S. Senate, Marco Rubio and Ted Cruz. In 2009, Sonia Sotomayor became the first Latina justice to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court.
Congratulations and welcome to the court.
To big-time athletes like Roberto Clemente in 1973, becoming the first Latino player inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame, followed by other greats like Alex Rodriguez, Mariano Rivera, and David Ortiz, a.k.a. Big Papi. And entertainment stars. In 1962, Rita Moreno became the first Hispanic woman to win an Academy Award, then a rare accomplishment. An EGOT, winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony Award, helping to open doors for future stars like Selena, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Jennifer Lopez, and many more. According to the latest U.S. Census report, more than 60 million people identify as Hispanic or Latino, making them the second largest ethnic group in the United States. But what's the history behind Hispanic Heritage Month? Well, it began in 1968 under President Lyndon Johnson as Hispanic Heritage Week. 20 years later, President Ronald Reagan expanded the week to a month, enacting it into public law.
We're not just here to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Week, but to announce that in 1989, the period between September 15th and October 15th will be Hispanic Heritage Month.
The start date, September 15th, is significant because it's the independence anniversary for many Latin American countries. Entering its fourth decade as an official celebration, Hispanic Heritage Month marks the countless ways Hispanics have helped build the country we live in today. Viva la vida.
Viva la vida.
Viva la vida! So this is a celebration of how the so-called Hispanics help build the country. Hispanics help build the country. Helped build the country. Helped build the country.
He's all funny, man.
You know, when you say helped, it means that you volunteered.
Right.
Say what?
You was voluntold.
Nah, we ain't getting there yet.
Interesting.
But when they say we helped build the country,
right,
that means we voluntarily our time,
right,
and sweat and labor
right,
to help
Come on now.
build
the country.
this country.
Willingly.
Helped.
Interesting.
Helped. I mean, we didn't do it all by ourselves. We helped. And we volunteered to build this country. Give me Deuteronomy 28, please. Give me the book. Give me the book.
That's a Jedi mind trick right
of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 33. What's y'all pay attention? Go ahead.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 33.
Bring it out.
The fruit of thy land.
The fruit of who land?
Thy land.
The fruit of your land.
Right.
Your country. The fruit of your property that belongs to you.
Right.
Read on.
And all thy labors.
And all your work.
Yep.
All your labor.
Bring it out.
Your hard work, sweat, and tears.
Sweat, blood, and
sweat,
tears.
blood, and tears
Right.
that you have put into your land.
Right.
Read on.
Shall
will come to pass. Definite fact. Read.
Shall a
different nation. Read.
Which thou knowest not.
Stop. A nation which thou knowest not. That means this nation came into your territory, invaded your land that you built up, right? With your labor. Read on.
Which thou knowest not, eat up.
They should do what?
Eat up.
Eat up means to now possess it.
Right.
What? So when they say they helped build the country.
Come on now. Jedi mind trick, man. They sat there. They sat there and took all the credit.
They took everything. Right.
They took everything.
The so-called Native American Indians, the so-called Hispanics, the so-called African Americans did not help build the country.
Right.
They built the country.
Right.
Forcibly. Keep going.
And thou shalt be only oppressed.
And thou shalt be what?
Only oppressed.
In this land that you have built up with by your labor,
right.
You are going to be oppressed by a nation which you did not know that will eat it up.
Say what?
You will be oppressed by that same nation. And who's that nation today? The so-called white man.
Yep.
That same nation is still in your land, eating up your fruit, eating up your labor, eating up your history, eating up your traditions. That same nation.
And apparently doing that is work.
It's work.
It's work for them.
Yeah, it's work.
That's why we helped.
Where we helped. So we helped. They helped build the country.
What a goddamn devil, man.
Read on. Keep reading though. What's this?
And crushed.
And what?
And crushed.
And crushed means to be what? Destroyed. Death. Crushed means you're on the bottom.
Right. And
you know how you crush them with your shoe?
Right.
They on the bottom. They are beneath your boot.
Right. That means there's no sense of fight in you. There's
nothing.
no spiritual fight in you.
Nothing.
You just
no
look
lower.
No hope. No hope. There you
no
go.
Hope.
You have no hope. Now you saying this is America.
Right. The land of
the free.
Right.
Home of the brave.
What?
You are now happy over 30 days of fake, falsely told Hispanic heritage. And you happy about that. When this nation stole your land, stole your labor, killed off your animals, destroyed your traditions, destroyed your knowledge of God, gave you a false God known as Cesar Chavez, Guadalupe, gave you a false God that looked like the same man that oppressed you, and then gave you 30 days and you happy. That's why God says this. Keep reading.
And crushed always.
Go ahead.
So that thou shalt be mad.
Thou shalt be what?
Thou shalt be mad.
Thou shalt be mad, read.
For the sight of thine eyes.
Thou shalt be mad for the sight of thine eyes. Now you're upset. Now you're mad. I'm going to show you something. Go to the next video. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all something. Because they mentioned Cesar Chavez.
Play. Really destroy the farm worker movement and to destroy it in such a way that will take away the rights of the workers to do.
So hold on, pause it. Can you read the title, please?
Cesar Chavez used the term wetbacks and illegals to describe migrant workers.
Can you read the whole title? We can't see it. The review and dang off. Just read it from the computer. Okay, there you go.
Cesar Chavez used the term wetbacks and illegals to describe migrant workers from Mexico.
Okay, put the disclaimer back up. Now I want y'all to pay attention. This is Cesar Chavez, which is also a so-called Mexican. Damn! He uses the term wetbacks and illegals.
Right. The same bywords that
that this white man used to describe migrant workers from Mexico. Watch this, y'all. Y'all gonna learn something today. Go ahead and play it.
Is to really destroy the farm worker movement and to destroy it in such a way that will take away the rights of the workers to do basically two very important things in order to defend themselves and win contracts. One is that it takes the right to strike from us and also takes the right of boycotting.
Why do you need those rights? Well, what's so important about that?
Well, you say we maintain that agriculture is different. It's always been different. This is why agriculture and farm workers were never organized before. As long as we have a poor country bordering California, it's going to be very difficult to win strikes, as strikes are won normally by other unions.
I want y'all to pay attention to what he just said. He said, as long as we have a poor country bordering Texas. What country is he talking about? He talking about his own country. He talking about Mexico. He talking about his own country.
That's crazy.
As long as we have a poor country bordering Texas, it will be hard for us.
That's crazy.
Stop it.
Like, bro,
get some help.
Watch this. Oh, it gets worse. Keep playing.
Employer, as is the case right now in one of the strikes we have with the Butte Gas and Oil Company, where we've closed them down, then have been unable to get strike breakers, or we've gotten very few. And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning, they brought in 220 wetbacks.
Stop!
These are the...
Dang, you got to bring that back by 10 seconds.
Yeah, run that back.
You got to bring
that back, y'all.
That's crazy.
Run that back.
that again.
Run that back. He said we was on the brink of something with the oil companies, and then yesterday they brought how many? 10,000? 2,000? Something amount of wetbacks. I want y'all to pay attention. Go ahead and play.
With the Butte Gas and Oil Company, where we've closed them down, then have been unable to get strike breakers.
So stop. So basically, he led a what they call it, boycott against these companies, and they were actually causing these companies to be shut down. And what happened was the company said, "Okay, y'all ain't gonna work. We're gonna go down to Mexico and get illegal immigrants."
Right.
To work for us.
What?
And he's mad at that. He's mad.
Right.
That his own people
is getting employed.
Having a better life in America because he wanted to push his agenda. Keep going. Watch this, y'all. Keep going.
Gotten very few. And then all of a sudden, yesterday morning, they brought in 220 wetbacks. These are the illegals from Mexico. Now, there's no way to defend against that kind of strike breaking, and so therefore the only way to win strikes is by then taking our fight to the citizens, the people in the city especially, and have them help us boycott those products that we're striking, and we need that. And that's the only way we've been able to get contracts, and I venture to say that without that, we couldn't possibly organize unions.
Well, this is then you
vote in one way. The only way they can go to the public and ask the public to vote to take the right to strike of farm workers and the right to boycott is by then coming around and saying that they're very concerned about the rights of workers, that workers should have the right to a free election, to a secret ballot election, and these things. Well, what's really happened is that Proposition 22 really, in its opening paragraph, really says that they're really interested in what they call the uninterrupted production, packing, processing, transporting, and marketing of agricultural products. This is their main concern, which means then that they're concerned about strikes and boycotts. Then, as an afterthought, they say that workers are free to organize. But then they go right back and take away all those freedoms that workers need to organize.
Well, how about the secret ballot?
That an informed public would vote against it. You see, because
is a stab in the back to every working man and woman in California, undercut the whole concept of collective bargaining. Now, if you single out the farm workers and say that they don't have rights that other Americans have, sooner or later that philosophy spreads. It's like a disease. The place to stop anti-labor legislation of that kind for the voters of California to respect Proposition.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31.
Bring it out.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
Envy thou not the oppressor.
And choose none of his ways.
God says don't choose none of his ways. This man chose the ways of Esau to the point where he turned on his people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
He turned on his people that was trying to get a better life from the poor country that he said Mexico was. Yep. Mexico, I'm going to tell you, these countries down south, South America, they're only poor because their resources were stolen.
Right.
Exactly.
You got to understand something. The land is not poor. The people are poor. Like Haiti.
For real.
The land is not poor.
Yep.
The people are poor. Different parts of Africa. The land is not poor. The people are poor. Because you don't steal from poor lands. You don't go into poor lands and what they call it? Mind.
Right.
And steal and take resources from poor countries.
Mm-hmm.
You steal from lands that are fruitful.
That are inhabited.
That have gold and diamonds and coal.
Right.
And oil.
Yep.
And silver and different minerals and you know so on and so forth.
Right.
The people are poor, but the land isn't poor. Mm-hmm. So go to the next one. Watch this.
He forgot where he came from. That's what it is.
Go ahead.
This question of the illegals I find very interesting. Would you say that it's at this particular moment as important as any of the other problems facing the union?
Oh yes, in the last 3 weeks the last 2 weeks it has become an emergency for us. There's an awful lot of illegals coming in by the hundred, by the thousands. Our people are not only in some of the crews where there's now strike breaking. Some of those crews are 100% illegals, outright, openly, with no attempt to disguise it. And so it's so bad now that we estimate 60 to 70% of the farm workers in California, of the resident worker, of the citizen, is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable.
Listen to what he's saying. He's saying that 60%, 70% of the farm workers are out of a job because of wetbacks.
Right.
What?
Well, he's talking about his own people.
Right.
So instead of thinking like, you know what? I can really achieve my goal by actually adding these my so-called immigrant brothers and sisters to my team. Let us form our own thing.
Exactly.
Let us all come together. Because now he went from fighting the white man, right? Fighting the white man against them treating farm workers like crap. The white man said, you know what? I'm going to flip it so you start fighting your own people.
Right.
Damn! Because now he went from fighting the white man to fighting so-called illegal immigrants.
What? Right.
Now his message became, instead of boycotting against the white man for mistreatment of farm workers in America, now we need to persecute these so-called illegals coming from Mexico. Right. Because what he authorized, what he did was they started attacking. They started actually committing violence against their own people that were not American citizens.
What's wrong with you?
Play it.
Citizen is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands, just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with the consent of the Immigration Service, which is part of the Department of Justice. How else could they come? We, for instance, know that if you go to Coachella, you go to around the El Paso area, the secondary immigration checkpoints have been unmanned now for at least 3-4 weeks. They're closed. They're at night. They're dark. There aren't any patrolmen there. It's a gimmick. We think that it's a prelude at the beginning to a big drive on the part of the administration and the Mexican government to bring the Bracero program again. It's a vicious attack on the local worker, and it's just one of those things that agribusiness thinks they can get away with it. And our job is to inform the whole country what's happening, together with a boycott, and solve it that way. And so the workers themselves, even though a lot of them are Mexican descendancy themselves, are very uptight and very, very worried and very mad about the illegals coming to break their strikes, and it takes away their jobs, their livelihood, and so forth.
Does that put you...
Stop. I want you to understand something. Who else said that?
I was just gonna say that sounds just
like
Esau.
Donald Trump.
So
Donald Trump said the same thing. People were saying the same thing. We got to build the wall. Build the wall for Mexico. Because the illegals are coming over, taking away our jobs.
Yep.
That's the bull crap that they were saying. This ain't nothing new. Who you think put that thought into Cesar Chavez's mind?
Exactly.
You think he came up with that himself?
Hell no.
He only said what he was allowed to say. He only did what he was allowed to do. Why? Because he was a big influencer of so-called Mexican people.
Yep.
Come on now, dog.
Inception ain't just a movie.
Yeah. It's not.
Inception ain't just a movie.
It's not. He was a big influencer. They did it. He did exactly what the white man allowed him to do.
Mm-hmm.
But little did he know he was actually turning on his own people.
He pushing the white man agenda. He was supposed to be fighting against us.
Yeah, supposed to be fighting.
But turning around, now you pushing their agenda.
Give me Limitations 5.
That's that Jedi mind trick, man.
Give me Limitations 5.
That's crazy.
In verse 1. Yeah, I'm telling you, this white man is a mastermind. He's a great mastermind. It's just like with the Black Lives Matter movement, right?
Right.
Black Lives Matter movement. Esau turned that thing and flipped it.
Exactly.
Flip that thing,
All
man.
lives matter.
Now it's all lives, blue lives, red lives. All I'm telling you, now it's like, well, now they fighting each other now,
right?
Instead of fighting me.
They forgot the whole mission.
They forgot the whole mission. I'm gonna turn them against. I'm gonna turn them on each other.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So they can forget that it was me that killed. It was because of me why they started that movement.
Right.
Come on, man.
Now you got Black Lives Matter groups attacking black groups.
Right.
Say what?
Yep.
You got Black Lives Matter groups that are being ran by lesbian women.
Yep.
Lesbians. Lesbian women. How does that even make sense? How does Black Lives Matter if women that were created to produce black lives are carpet munching? How does that? Black lives don't matter to lesbian women.
Right. You got Black Lives Matter that's pro-abortion.
Pro-abortion.
Houseway.
Pro-abortion. For abortion.
How? That don't make no sense. Black lives don't matter to lesbian women.
There's powerful niggardry at work here.
Go next. Let me take 5 and 1. Go ahead.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 5 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us.
Read on.
Consider and behold our reproach.
Go ahead.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. We just read that Deuteronomy 28.
Right.
The fruit of our land and all our labors shall another nation which thou know not eat up.
Right.
Our inheritance, our land, even the inventions.
Yep.
Everything you see today was invented by an Israelite.
Patents.
Everything you see today was invented by an Israelite. The white man just took the credit for it.
Exactly.
Stole it. Just like they stole the land.
Took the credit for it.
Yep.
Go ahead, read on.
Our houses to aliens.
Go ahead.
We are orphans.
We are orphans.
And fatherless.
And fatherless. We are orphans and fatherless. How? Because they sterilizing our mothers. They kidnapping our babies. The damn boarding schools. Kidnapping our babies out of their mother's arms.
What?
Read.
Our mothers are as widows.
Our mothers are as widows. Why they killing the men every day? Read.
We have drunken our water for money.
Our water. We are drunken our, meaning this belonged to us. God gave us to us for free.
Right.
God gave us water for free.
Right.
But now the white men say, you got to pay for this water. You want water? You got to pay for it.
What?
It rained. We collect it. We get taxed for it.
Exactly.
How the hell you got 20 different brands of water? I want you to think about that. How you got 20 different brands of water? I want y'all to think about that. That's some evil stuff, man.
Come on, man.
That's some evil stuff. They all getting a piece of the pie which God gave for free. Read that part again.
For real.
We have drunken our water for money.
We have drunken our water for money. Dasani, Zephyr Hill. What's the other one? Vitamin, Aquafina, Fiji. All these damn different brands of water now we got to pay for. Before the white man got here, we only had one brand of water.
Which was water.
Water. Spring water, whatever. Water. You didn't have to go to a store and fight people to get a 32-pack of water. You didn't have to stock up for a drought coming. Hurricane season come. Everybody go to the store. Ain't no water on the shelves.
Ain't no water, right.
You didn't have to do that. This white man said, you know what? You're going to have to pay for your own water now. Read on.
Our wood is sold unto us.
Our wood is sown unto us. The things that we use, our tools, the things we use to build our houses, our supplies that God gave for free. Before the white man got here, we was builders. We was carpenters. We know how to use our hands. We made tools. We had cities here in America. America had cities, kingdoms. Yep. Before the Spaniards and the Conquistadors got to Mexico, South America, they had kingdoms.
They
had immaculate cities. America had cities. America had kingdoms. Read on. They make you believe that all Native Americans were butt naked living in teepees every day. That's some bull crap, y'all.
Right.
Don't believe the hype. That's bull crap.
For real.
Read.
Our necks are under persecution.
Our necks are under persecution. Read on.
We labor and have no rest.
We labor and have no rest. Go back to verse 2.
Verse 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Read on.
Our houses to aliens.
Every white, Chinese, every Arab, every other nation that lives in America are illegal aliens.
Right.
That's right.
Every last one of them. Thus said the Bible. Thus said God. They are illegal aliens. But you're going to fight your own people.
Right.
Because they're illegal. That means you don't know your history.
Right.
Exactly.
You don't know who you are. You don't know what happened to your people.
You niggas are crazy.
But this is the dude. Now, don't get me wrong. We got to learn. We got to learn these things. But this is the dude that they always push in school. you want to learn about Hispanic heritage?
Right.
Cesar Chavez. Cesar Chavez. But they don't push that he was actually against his own people.
Right.
Against his own country. We don't promote that. We don't promote that. That's selfish. That's loving the ways of your oppressor more than the ways of your own people.
Right.
Bring it out.
That's that crab in a bucket, crab in a barrel.
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm not going to let you get ahead of me.
Come on now, dog.
Go back to the article. We almost done.
That's crazy.
We ain't gonna be able to get to right. We ain't gonna be able to get to the real heritage we need to learn about. Keep going. Go to the next one. Is it Young Lord's next one? Okay. Hey, we're gonna go over more on it next week, Lord's will. But this is the heritage that you need to learn. You want to learn Hispanic heritage? This is what you need to learn about. Play the video. This is what you need to learn right here. Play that video right there. We almost done.
What was the Latin rights movement of the 1960s? It was the Young Lords, whose legacy for social change in predominantly Puerto Rican and underserved communities throughout New York City is still being felt today.
It was one of the most active and successful organizations of the 1960s. The Young Lords considered themselves revolutionaries. They believed in the independence of Puerto Rico, which they believed would only come about through revolution, but they also considered themselves socialists. And they fought racism and police violence and brutality in poor neighborhoods of East Harlem, the South Bronx, and the Lower East Side.
Young Lords were a group of first-generation Puerto Rican college students who took their cues from Marxism philosophy and the civil rights movement. They embraced other young...
Stop. It said they took their cues from who? Judah. They took their cues from the so-called African Americans. That's how you know that they're Judah.
Yep.
That's how you know they are the Judites in the Bible.
There we go.
Because the Young Lords, the Brown Berets, AIM, the American Indian Movement, they all took their took snippets from the Black Panther Party.
That's right.
From the Civil Rights Movement. Not saying no, we the Israelites, because God told you that the tribes would follow Judah. That's how you know. That's how you know who the Israelites are, man. Go back. Hey, but they're not gonna teach you young lords in history class.
Oh yeah, no,
they're not. If you want to learn about the Hispanic heritage much, they're not gonna teach you this.
Oh yeah.
This is what you need to be learning: how our forefathers fought against oppression.
Yeah, they don't want no
fought against racism.
Right.
Fought against police brutality. Fought against the poor not having medical care, not being able to feed themselves. That's what we fought against. Go ahead.
Authorities into their organization.
They engaged in protests that were savvy, strategic, that involved the community. They occupied Lincoln Hospital right here in the Bronx. They engaged in protests around issues of public health. They burned garbage in East Harlem to protest for sanitation services there. And they won tremendous reforms.
All of this history has been dramatically documented in Presente, the Young Lords in New York exhibits at the Bronx Museum of Art, El Museo del Barrio, and the Loisaida Ink Center. Each cultural site tells a story of the Young Lords in that part of the city with striking photos, video, art, and other archival materials.
What the museum has done here is amazing. It's important that this be gathered, that this not be lost, that what we did was not in the vain. I mean, I know that we made an impact at that time, but very rarely are we credited for what we did.
One of their biggest impacts was when they took over an East Harlem church, which wasn't providing any services to the community. The Young Lords renamed it the People's Church.
All right, that's it. We gonna dive more into this next week, Lord's will. Give me Isaiah 8:20. Now, what they did was it was very big during that time. What they did worked during that time, but it came to a cease. And when you look at it, the white men actually infiltrated that thing. And the majority of all these Young Lord leaders today, they have good jobs today. got very good, what they call mainstream jobs. What's the dude, man? That the news anchor dude, Geraldo Rivera. He was a Young Lords or the Brown Berets. I think it was the Young Lords. He was a lawyer. He was on top of that thing. But a lot of them, they actually got mainstream jobs and they don't speak up no more.
Right.
They don't talk no more.
Right.
They got that money and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sit back and watch all this happen. This is why it's not gonna work. Isaiah 8:20.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 8 and verse 20.
Bring it out.
To the law, and to the testimony.
To the laws of God and to the testimonies, what the prophets went through and their testimony. Read.
If they speak not according to this word.
If they don't speak according to this word, whatever movement don't speak according to this word, read.
It is because there is no light in them.
God is not with that movement.
Right.
All right. The only movement that's speaking the law and the testimony is the Israelite movement.
That's right.
And that's it.
Right.
Not no other movement, not the what they call it? The Black Lives Matter movement. Not the what's the other one without where they got all the guns and stuff?
The new Black Panther.
New Black Panther.
The new Black Panther was one with all the guns. Niggas with attitude or something like that. Not effing around clique. They not speaking according to God. If you want to join a movement that fights oppression, that fights racial injustice, that fights police brutality, but guess what? That fights black on black crime, that fights abortions, that fights single parent households, that fights men not being men raising their kids. If you want to join a movement that fights that with the Bible, with the spirituality of God, join the Israelite movement.
That's right.
And it's very easy. www.israelunite.org. Bring it out. Keep the commandments. It's very easy. Keep the commandments of God. Find a school near you. Go to the school. Learn who you are. Learn how to please God. To the law, to the testimony. If they don't speak according to that thing, ain't no light in them.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road. Purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.